We are talking about Sadhguru's quotes. There's one particular quote that Sadhguru says, which a little bit I'm not sure about, I'm curious about. And it goes, be a mother to the world. I know he likes this quote. Lots of my friends like this quote. Be a mother to the world. Open up. Oh, I love you, the world. You're my mother. When I first heard this, I was like, but excuse me, I'm a man. How can I be a mother to the world? And second of all, it's a good quote. I mean, I understand. You be loving and gentle and kind to everybody. So I'm curious what you guys have to think or what you think in general.
So this quote, I'm a mother to the world. The first time I did Shambhavi, or I got the day of my initiation, that quote opened me up to boundless love. And I don't think that it's like a thing that you have to like walk around as if you're actually a mother, but the attitude inside of you towards the world should be like this, or it shouldn't be like this, but if you are like this, something opens up, and it's a tool basically to open something up. And I also think sometimes like, am I too kind, you know? Am I like trying too hard to be kind sometimes? Should I be more harsh or give less fucks? But I don't really think so. I think being kind is good.
My teacher would also say, like one of the first rules or ideologies, magnanimity of mind. It means largeness of mind, like to have big world scale thinking. So that's kind of like falls into that same idea that that we should have that perspective of being a citizen of the world, that what you do affects in one country likely will affect people in other countries, especially with how the world is going and increasing income disparity and just all of the events, everything that's been going on with the world, with globalization, with the internet, with everything. So absolutely, if you're a mother of the world, that means that not only do you care about the world in that way, but you care about it so much to that extent that you are a mother to it, meaning that you care so deeply.
This is maybe one of the most powerful quotes as it relates to love and loving kindness, because I'm from the Buddhist tradition, and the Buddha has many quotes like that. You care for living beings, everybody feels pain, therefore you shouldn't inflict pain onto others. Various quotes like this. But I think this quote hits the nail right on the head perfectly. Be a mother to the world. Everybody knows or can experience what a mother feels like because we all come from one. And if you are fortunate enough to grow up with your mother, you know how much a love your mother has given you. So you should extend that love towards the entire world, to the people, places, things, animals, and even insects. And just me talking about the subject opens up my heart. I can feel my chest warming up and expanding, and the subtle sensations in my chest. And that's very nice. So the heart space is conjunct between the 3 lower chakras and the 3 higher chakras, or centers. The lower centers deal with survival, and the higher centers deal with liberation. And the one in the center is conjoining both. It's the heart. So that's very beautiful. Be a mother to the world.
Yes. So there is, in the inner engineering crash course, it's called, you go through different stuff or quotes. All the rules are my rules. I'm responsible for everything. The way it is right now is all there is. I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, and I'm a mother to the world. Basically, it's all going in the same direction. It's all taking boundaries down and expanding yourself. And if you let this happen, you tap into a different kind of way of being, inclusive way of being. And that's where truth lies. It's all inclusive. And that's also where life starts opening up in many ways. When you start opening up to simply everything. You don't discriminate between, oh, this is not good enough to respond to or to let my boundaries down. If you truly are like this, life is very beautiful. And it's an amazing tool if you use it correctly.
These emotions are what bond us, and it's what makes us human. So the strongest emotion that somebody can have is a mother towards their daughter or son. So if you have that emotion like that towards the world, that you recognize all the suffering that's in the world, you recognize all of the modern issues that we have to face, and you recognize the need, you recognize the reality that spirituality is one of the main solutions to so many of the problems of this world, then naturally you strive upon that path, and then you naturally also realize that as you endeavor along that path and you grow in understanding and spiritual maturity, then you can also realize that you want to relieve the suffering of the world. And that's like Shiva, who comes from the Buddhist tradition, was just saying, that there is, was explaining this feeling of compassion, or I mean that's a Buddhist teaching of this feeling of compassion, and so that's this desire to relieve the suffering of the world. Naturally, like how a mother might try to relieve the suffering of their child. In many situations, they don't actually just feel it, but they practically will go about those steps in order to relieve that suffering. So, but also naturally, like some mothers are not such good mothers, and so if you want to be a good mother to the world, you have to do your spiritual sadhana. You have to become the person that who is able to actually, defeat the demons of this world. In Buddhism, I think the three poisons are greed, lust, and anger. So if you want to defeat those, if you want to be like Avatar, the last airbender, you need to be powerful. You can't just, not be powerful and expect to be a very good protective mother or father. So yeah, so you need to actually put into action those practical things, and then you can help the world, help all of the suffering, help relieve all of the suffering, and hopefully have a good time as well, and not to see things only so bleakly, but yeah, also to uplift yourself and feel good and help others feel good as well. It's all part of the game, part of the spiritual path.
I just want to make a small correction of what you said, Garrett, that the three poisons in the Buddhist teaching is greed, hatred, and delusion, or craving, aversion, and delusion. Delusion being the biggest one. We're all delusional. This quote also about being inclusive is a good teaching. This is a teaching to be inclusive to everybody and everything. What does this mean? Well, in an ultimate sense, you want to include the whole world into yourself, which means that you treat the entire world as your family or as your home. Today we were at the grocery store and somebody put back cat food on the shelf and the cat food fell right beside me. And I knew this was a kind of spiritual test for me, the way it fell, for me to pick it up and put it back. Why? Because I'm responsible for this. It's in my home, so to speak. This whole world is my home. That's why you shouldn't litter. I don't litter. That's why you shouldn't kill living beings. That's why you should be compassionate towards others. And that's why you should include the whole world as a part of yourself. So if you do that, you naturally wouldn't go and cause harm to somebody else because they are your brothers or sisters.
There is also like nearly a sickness within us that we think, well, I think it comes from us not realizing what is happening really right now. Because if you're here in this moment, you realize how crazy this creation is. You also see everything as beautiful and unique in some way. And you naturally move in the direction of giving yourself to whatever is in front of you. I think it's a delusion of, oh yeah, I'm gonna be here forever, and not realizing how precious this moment is and that it's gonna pass and never exist like this again. And if you realize this really, it's really beautiful, and well, it opens up It's like, wow, whatever is here, I can bow to it.
Yeah, the present moment is very important because ultimately we're going to go through so many struggles in our life. We live a relatively long life as humans, and we're going to see so much suffering, so much joy. Just we're going to see so much really, and the more present we are for each of those moments of happiness, and the more present we are also for each of those moments of suffering or struggle, then the more we are going to enjoy or going to be capable of dealing with those moments that present themselves. So definitely, um, the more power that we can muster spiritually, the more amount of presence in the moment we can harness, then the more energy we are going to be able to utilize in order to do work. Because ultimately, being powerful does not mean weakness. Power is power, and we need power. Everybody needs some degree of capability to function in this world. Just the fact that we are able to breathe and live and move is by virtue of power, of energy that is within us. So you need energy or power to do anything. And so if we are going to be the most capable mothers, or I suppose you could say fathers, or as we're men, or however you want to say it, but in the sense of to be a mother in the sense of intensely caring for the world, then we need to have access to that power that is present within the present moment.
I want to touch upon what you just said, Garrett, that so you said that the human life is relatively long, and this is a contradiction to what most people would say. Most people would say that human life is short. But actually, it's true that the human life is relatively long. We live a very long time compared to other animals on this earth, not a long time compared to the cosmic things that are happening. We live just for a microsecond, but it's enough. So right now we're young. If you're young watching this, you're gonna get older, and as you get older, you're gonna want to leave at some point because there comes a time where it's just enough. You've gone through all that you needed to go to, your body is decaying, and okay, this is time to exit. And maybe it's not because you want to exit, but simply your body can't handle it being here. And that's just the unfortunate reality that we live in a time, live in these kinds of bodies that maybe they take about 100 years, 60, 80 to 100 years. And that's pretty much maximum. After that, you're getting in the territory of extraordinary feats, either yoga or extreme luck, or just you hit the genetic lottery. So live life intensely, live life fully, do everything you want in this life, everything you can in this life to make situations better for yourself and for others, so that you don't live with regrets when the time to leave comes.
I saw Osho speaking into this, that just care about one thing about your happiness. And I think this is so vital and important because we get caught up, or a lot of people get caught up in, oh, this is important, I have to make money, I have to get a family, I have to do this or that, just because it's normal or because the society says so. Who gives a fuck, really? Who gives a fuck? Just live joyfully. What is there else to do? Work yourself to death and be unhappy? You can do that, but I'm not. Well, I like working. I have no problem with working. But also, my work, I want to do it joyfully, whatever I do. So, I think it's very important to invest time in learning, okay, what actually brings me joy? What's actually my desire? Is it really just making money? Or is it something more? Where is this urge coming from always getting more? And it's the urge to expand. And that brings joy.
Greed is absolutely an issue that we always want more, but it can also be a great boon because it depends on which direction that we aim it. For example, somebody who is serving others and is doing lots of charity, is doing lots of work in order to benefit others, if they're greedy in the sense in that they want to benefit the most people or do the most, or they're greedy in how good of a charitable person, how good of a person they want to be. They're greedy, they want to be the very best. If you want to use it, that term in that sense, then it's a very beneficial quality. Obviously, that's not referring to the traditional sense of trying to obtain as much money as possible or get things, but rather if you are greedy in the sense of giving. So that is essentially the main practice of the spiritual path, that yes, we want to be happy for ourselves and we should be happy for ourselves, and that can definitely be a main aim, and if you do that, then the rest of the things will take care of themselves, I believe. And you can also look at it in the sense that the more you give, that the more happy you will become. So it can work in either way, that the more joyful and happier you are, the less you desire for yourself and the more you desire for others. And then also, the more you desire for others, the more happier and fulfilled you become.
That's also something that I realized in some ways. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. If you're eating chocolate, if you're wanting more money, if you want a family, whatever you're doing, you're always searching for the ultimate and expansion, because that's also where you find the truth, I guess. So many people are searching for this just unconsciously. Once you know or get clear on, oh, that's actually what I want. I want to be all inclusive. I want to expand. I want to experience everything as mine. Because that's the truth. That's your nature. Then you can actually focus on that and work towards it consciously, and it becomes easy. And you're not going in these loops to try to accumulate more wealth, and then when you have it, you realize, oh, this is actually not even fulfilling.
I like what he was saying, what Abel was saying about you feel like everything is yours. Like when you identify, like Sadhguru says, with everything, then this practice of giving doesn't even become a practice of so much. It's a natural occurrence. And also it's not so much a question anymore. It's not, it is becomes quite intellectually obvious that it is beneficial when you really feel like you identify with everything. Also, I think on a subtler level, perhaps in a more direct and emotional level, you do get some sort of upliftment of in many different ways from stuff like that, from giving and whatnot. Gee, I hope I haven't said too many times. But yeah, so that's like the idea, like the whole idea. So yeah, all very important, all things to consider, all important points to drive home and to practice in every moment to the fullest. And even giving, like the Buddha has explained, that it doesn't need to so much be a practice of actually giving some material object to somebody. But I think there was a story about a man who didn't have anything and he didn't know what to give, and the Buddha was propounding these philosophies of giving, of the more you give, the more you receive, or however his teachings, the precise wording was. But so this man, he had nothing to give, and he was wondering, what should I do? And the Buddha said, just simply give a smile. Just smile. Even if you have nothing to give, you can give a smile. So that's also goes back to the idea of the more you uplift yourself, the more you uplift yourself, the more you can help uplift others in their spirit.
If you like this video, and subscribe.